If you ever wanted to eat one of those worms that pops out of a hive when you kill it, but don't want to subject yourself to a lifelong pact with the worm gods, we are going to make some worm pastries today. The ingredients you want: 1 tube of those pre-packaged compressed semi-explosive crescent rolls, some pudding. I like the tapioca to give it that extra texture when you're biting into the worms. Some neon green food dye, and some green writing gel to give those little beady eyes. Really adds to the appeal. So the first thing you gotta do is open up your can of pastries. This is the best part. Parchment paper out. I'll clean that up later. Step 1 actually is to turn on the oven. You want to make sure your oven is at 350 degrees Fahrenheit, or if you're doing phase shift analysis, that will be just under 2 pi radian Fahrenheit. Get in a spoon. Take your delicious pudding. I can't actually open this with my, no, I got it.
No.
I don't have the dexterity with 2 layers of gloves to open this the right way, so I'm just gonna use the tools available to me. Take your pudding and your neon green food coloring. You put in 4 drops, 5 drops, depending on how wicked you want that soul fire green glow. When it looks like a very ghoulish green that you probably shouldn't put in your mouth, but that is exactly what we're gonna do. Does that look good to you? She's nodding her head no. That means it's good. Alright, make sure to get those nice and unfurled. Some of them will be bigger than others, that's also okay. That just means that they've gotten more tribute. So now what we're gonna do is we put the goo inside of the worms. You're gonna take the pudding, you wanna use a lot less than you think you need, otherwise your worm's gonna be all bloated and gushy. Take your spoon, just sort of gush it around the base of the one thing. You wanna make sure that it's all sort of in the middle, because otherwise it leaks when you roll it, and it's just kind of unpleasant. Sometimes I will take Oreos and crush those up and put them in here as well. That gives it a delicious crunchy texture. Really feels like you're getting that space worm taste. You roll a triangle into the worm. So you're gonna start with that short leg, rolling it up and in. You wanna try to push down on the sides to keep the inner goo from leaking out everywhere. That's super important. You don't want it to goosh out just yet, else it makes pretty much everything else really difficult and also pretty gross. Now you're probably 9 times out of 10 you're gonna have one end that's a lot shorter than the other end, and that's okay. We work with that. I'm gonna take that short end, sort of snub nose it in, round it off. It's gonna be the worm's head. And we're gonna take that long end, we're gonna push it down, sort of form it into a Y shape with our fingers to give it that tail. We're gonna take our 8th sibling that was sacrificed and start breaking it up into little strips. We're gonna take those strips and we're going to use those to create our crispy little ridges that run along the backs of the worms. So you wanna pinch and stretch and extrude these segments and then stick them along the tops. I'm gonna try to pinch them in place along the top. They don't have to stick along the entire length, but as long as they are sort of following the same length, that way you're gonna get those crispy ridges. It's my favorite part about making these worms is that you do actually need to sacrifice one of them. So once you have your worms nice and assembled, you're gonna pop them in the oven for about 12 minutes or until they're a nice crispy golden brown. They look like they've got some crunch to them. Did that wrong. These are significantly better. They're gonna be puffy, and some of the ridges will have deflated, but that's all right. Beautiful worm pastries. Some of them will be oozing. That's part of the allure.
I would choose a different word than allure. Part of the horror.
Well, look at them. You're gonna wanna let them cool down for a few minutes so that you don't burn yourself when you eat them. And also the writing gel will not stick until they are not 350 degrees. I already made that joke, Natasha.
Gotta use it again.
No, you're not going to use the same joke twice in one video.
Reduce, reuse, recycle. People like you are killing the planet.
All right. Yeah. Should be crispy on the outside, but gooey on the inside. Ow. That was still too hot. Steamy. You look skeptical.
It's pretty green.
It's pretty, well, it's supposed to be green.
Oh, yeah.
That's the guts. When you step on one, just green everywhere.
And you're putting that in your mouth.
And you're putting that in, well, yeah, it's delicious, and it's considerably less
Evil.
curse-inducing. Yeah, it's not as evil. Take your green writing gel, add in just 3 little eyes so that they have that illustrious glow. Look at those puppy dog eyes. All 3 of them. Oh, look at that, that's fantastic. Yeah. Oh, look at that.
That's luminous.
Yeah, it's Soulfire.
Is that like Eris Morn's eyes?
Exactly like Eris Morn's eyes.
Am I doing good or am I doing good? Look at that.
Look at that. Look at those beautiful eyes.
I don't like my food looking back at me.
Try it. Eat it.
Oh,
gross,
the body cavity.
Yeah.
That's in my mouth.
The tail is the crunchiest part.
Give us some life advice.
Life advice.
Yeah.
So when the next time you pop one of those acolytes in the head and its hive worm falls out and you feel the need to eat it, now you have a safe alternative. Great.